Hey, if you're using Serenity BDD with the Screenplay pattern, give me 5 minutes and I'll show you a really quick way to make your tests more expressive and more powerful than ever before. I'm John Ferguson Smart. I created the Serenity BDD framework so that teams can write higher quality test automation more easily and more sustainably. And this video is one of many that you'll find on my YouTube channel about how to get the most out of your Serenity tests. Let's dive in and have a look at what I mean. Let's have a look at a Screenplay test. So here, what have I got? I've got a Serenity Unit 5 test. That's all for now. And I'm going to try and establish whether Sophie's got a list of favorite colors, and we want to know whether Sophie's colors are in this list. So it's a really simple test. It's just for demo purposes. So in Screenplay, the first thing we're going to need is an actor. So actor called Sophie in this case. So I'm going to create an actor named Sophie. And what does Sophie do? Well, she's going to attempt to make a number of checks on that list of colors to make sure that she has the right colors in the list. Now, this is where we use the ensure library. So the first thing you need to do is check or add in your POM file that you have this Serenity ensure library. It won't necessarily be there by default. So you'll need to add that to your dependencies. Make sure it's the latest one. So the latest version is Serenity 4.1.0 at the time of writing. So now we have our ensure library. We can use that to make our checks. Now, if you've ever used a library like AssertJ, the ensure library is very similar. So it allows us to perform fluent assertions on anything in our application. So, for example, we can say something like this, ensure, and then we'll get an autocomplete that will tell us what we can do. That the colors, now imagine that Sophie has a certain number of favorite colors that we want to check. We want to check that the colors contain red and that the colors contains blue. So that's our test. Sophie attempts to ensure that colors contains red and colors contains blue. Both of these things will be tested. Now I'm going to run this and I want to show you what the reports look like real quick. And we can see this is the Serenity report that we generate from this test result. We can see right down here, Sophie's favorite colors should be in the list. Sophie should see a collection that contains red and blue. Notice how those assertions, those facts that where those acceptance criteria, if you like, they are directly derived from the ensure library. So that's one of the cool things about using ensure. We automatically get that documentation. But now let's see what happens when something goes wrong. I'm going to put right in the middle here, I'm going to put a check as well. Ensure that colors contains purple. Now clearly that is not the case. So I'm going to run this and we'll see what the results look like. So clearly that is not the case. So let's run this test once more. And what we see is that effectively the test fails. The test fails because purple is not in the list. Now I'm going to generate the reports and we'll see what the reports look like now. So now what we can see in our reports is that at this first test, Sophie contains a collection containing purple. That failed. And then as soon as a test fails in Serenity, we skip all of the subsequent steps. So this is a normal behavior. But here's the interesting thing. What if we wanted to check more than one thing at the same time? What if we wanted to check all of the colors? Well, there's a cool way we can do that. So imagine, let's add another couple of colors here. So we put one that is there, green, one that is not there, yellow. And now if we run this, when we're going to bail out at the purple, we're not going to test any of this. So the trick, if you want to test everything, is to use soft asserts. And the way we do that in Serenity is we say ensure enable soft asserts before we start. Then right at the end we can say ensure report soft asserts. So now when I run my tests, what we get is many errors. So we've got one, it didn't contain purple and it didn't contain yellow. And this reflects in the reports as well. When we generate our Serenity documentation, and we'll go and have a look at those reports. So that's what it used to be. Now we can see we've got red worked, purple did not work, blue worked, green worked, yellow did not work. So we see all of the different checks that we did, even if some of them failed. So we get a much more complete picture. And the trick here to do that, very, very simple, is around your asserts, around this sequence of ensure statements, you simply start with enable soft asserts and then report soft asserts right at the end. So I hope that will help you write more expressive screenplay tests. If you want to find more tips about Serenity and Screenplay and test automation in general, make sure you subscribe to this video. And if you do want more in-depth understanding, get really confident and comfortable with Serenity BDD and advanced test automation in general, make sure you check the training platform in the link below as well.